Okay, so I thought I'd make this just to hopefully clear everything up because in class I've been having a little foggy memory because I'm tired and whatever. So I'm going to go over how to write formulas for ionic compounds. Some of you already kind of know how to do this, but we're going to break it down. So you want their charge to cancel out. So you want the pluses and the minuses to equal 0. So I could have a lot of different examples. So we're just going to start with one, which is really easy. We have sodium and we have chlorine. Okay, sodium has a +1 charge, chlorine has a -1 charge. And so +1 minus 1, if I did a +1 and I added it to a -1, that equals 0. So their charges cancel out. So that means I only need one of each of these things. So their formula is just NaCl. The really fast, easy way to do this is you just look at their charges and you flip-flop it. So I say, okay, I have one, then I only have one of them here. And if I have one, then I just have one here. Okay, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Another way that you could do it that we've been learning is drawing. So you give sodium 1 dot because it's 1 valence electron, chlorine 7 dots because it has 7 valence electrons. And then remember, sodium's going to give up that 1. And then sodium's given up all of its valence electrons. Chlorine has 8. So they're both stable, they're both happy. I only needed 1 sodium, 1 chlorine. So it's again just still a 1-to-1 ratio. A lot of different ways that you could do it. Okay, the drawing diagram is going to take the longest. And so that way is probably not the one that you want to try for first, but if that's the one that makes the most sense to you, then you can do that. What you want to try for is just looking at their charges and crisscrossing. Okay, if I have one of these guys, if I have a +1 charge here, I'm only going to need 1 chlorine. If I have a -1 here, I'm only going to need 1 sodium. So it's that 1-to-1 ratio. So we'll do another example. So we will do lithium and then oxygen. So lithium has a +1 charge. Oxygen has a -2 charge. So I need the charges to cancel out. So right now they don't. +1 -2 equals a -1 charge. It's not 0. So I can't do a 1-to-1 ratio. I want them to cancel out. So some of you might be able to eyeball this and say, oh, well, you need 2 of these guys. That I do. And so again, if we just take the charges, this is the nice trick, the quick trick. So I say 1, so I only need 1 of these guys. 2, so I'm going to put a 2 right here. So my formula is Li2O, to write it without all the arrows. That's the fast way to do it, is just to flip-flop the charges really fast. Again, if you're struggling with that, if that doesn't make sense to you, if that's just not what you want to do, then you could look at it this way. So I have another way that you could do it. Li +1, O -2. So I can say right now, +1 -2 equals a -1, not 0. -1, I want it to be 0, so I'm going to need a positive charge. So let's add another one of my positive thing. So now when I do that, my new one is a +2 -2, and that's 0. So I needed 2 of these guys, so I can write Li2O. Okay? Either way, we're getting the same formula every time. So whatever makes the most sense to you, do it that way. The last way to still get the same thing is to do the drawing. So if I did lithium, it has 1 valence electron, so it gets 1 dot. Oxygen has 6, so it gets 6 dots. Okay? And so lithium's going to give up 1. Lithium's good to go. Oxygen's not. So what do? We add another lithium. So it can have another one to give to oxygen. So I needed 2 lithiums and 1 oxygen. So again, the formula is still Li2O. So that's how you could do that. The charges are going to stay true every time. It doesn't matter. So you're always wanting them to cancel out. And so I can do another example. So we'll do aluminum and oxygen. So Al and aluminum has a +3 charge. Oxygen has a -2 charge. So we do this one. And so we could pick all of the ways. So we're going to do the fastest way first, then the next fastest, and then the last one. So if I do the fastest way is just to take these. That's a 2. So 2 goes here. That's a 3. So a 3 goes here. Okay, that is the fastest way to go. Al2O3, and that is the correct formula. The other ways that we do is also going to get us Al2O3. Okay, fastest, easiest way, boom, we're done. So for other ways that are not as fast but still get us the same answer, we'll do my math way, where we have a +3 and then a -2 charge. What is our current overall net charge? Well, plus 3 minus 2 is a plus 1. So plus 3 minus 2 equals plus 1. Does that make sense how I'm getting that? Hopefully so. Okay, so I have a plus. So I have too much plus, so I want to get to 0, so that means I'm going to need some negatives. So when I add an oxygen in, then what that does is now I have a plus 3 charge and a negative 4 charge. So now I've become negative 1. Because plus 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So that's not good. So I need to add an aluminum, okay? And so now I have a plus 6 charge minus 4 charge. So now I have a plus 2 charge. Still not there, but now we can see a light at the end of the tunnel, because if I add another oxygen, then that equals 0, right? Because plus 3's minus 2, and that's going to be a negative 6 plus 6. And so guess what? I still needed 2 aluminums and 1, 2, 3 oxygens. 2 aluminums, 3 oxygens. And then last but not least, you can draw the bonding diagram, which is what we did in the warm-up previously, or not in the warm-up, in a previous unit lesson. So aluminum, oxygen gets 6, aluminum's gonna give, aluminum's gonna give, 1 left over on oxygen, or on aluminum, but oxygen's good, so I need to add another oxygen. So I add the other oxygen. Now aluminum's good, but oxygen's not, so I add an aluminum. Okay, now oxygen's good, so aluminum's good, oxygen's good, but this aluminum's not, so I need to add another oxygen. And now everybody is good. And so it's still 2 aluminums and 3 oxygens. So no matter how you want to look at it, you're getting the same formula. Again, to me, the easiest way is just to crisscross the charges. Just crisscross the charges, and then you always want to reduce if you can. But that being said, hopefully this video is a good tutorial for you all.